Live, yes. Live, we are live, yes. Okay, so. Is that in there? Can I? No, it won't. Okay. How do I share with this motherfucking pain in the ass? Go ahead and put that up there because otherwise I'll get a streak because they're idiots. The streak! They're asking me to streak, man. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I have a freaking chicken again. Yo! They're making me streak, man. Treat. Okay. I have a problem. I'm having trouble figuring out on the cell phone bit here how to share videos. Because I've got something that I was trying to put up here so that, start off the stream appropriately, but whatever. Fuck it. Instead of burning out my fucking camera and computer, instead of burning it out, fuck it. We just won't listen to the Bengals then. All right. It's just another Manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another Manic Monday. I guess I could do all right, Anyways, so with all this crazy shit happening, and everything going on in the world around us, all the mainstream misleading going, panic, panic, be afraid, be very afraid. I'm just sitting here like, you know what, motherfuckers? I ain't got time for all that shit. I got an egg-bound chicken in the bathroom, and another one that's sitting over here in the freaking coop who's being a little prick. She keeps on attacking every other chicken that's in there, so got to work on giving her her own space. No, I'm not in a bug-out tent. Bro. Oh, shit. I almost lost that. This is my workshop. It looks kind of like a clusterfuck, don't it? That's my life for you. Welcome to my... It's actually my workshop right here. It's kind of funny. Most of the time I'm actually I'm live streaming with y'all, and if I'm like doing the sword or I'm doing something else, I'm actually live streaming from right here. It's either here or it's in my my recliner, as it were. I'm having me a cigarette before I go back inside and go and check on old Firebuns in there who's having trouble pushing an egg out. She's now 4 days bound. I think she's done. She's gonna die. Which means I've got one chicken and I have to buy more. So it's probably going to all be the same variety because otherwise I'm going to end up with a bunch of dead baby chicks because Americanas, come to find out, are really aggressive birds and they like to basically kill anything that doesn't look like them. Unless it's too big for them to kill. Go figure. That's why I had to remove the last ginger I've got, is because rather than leave her in there, where normally she'd be at less of a stressed environment, she'd feel a little more safe and a little more relaxed to be able to pass the egg. Because the Americana's in there with her, she's actually more stressed out in there. She was flapping around the other night all crazy like. You know, that balloon didn't cost no $2,500. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Uh, I was looking at the equipment on it, and basically what it was is a fucking mock-up. We just burned, and yes, burned a couple mil. That wasn't even a fucking spy balloon, guys. It was a fucking latex balloon with guy wires and some solar panel mock-ups. I actually looked at it closely. I fucking zoomed in on that motherfucker so damn tight you could read the lettering on the side. It was a mock-up. They shot down a fucking decoy. Thing wasn't even operational. Those solar panels weren't real. I know what I'm looking at when I look at a solar panel. Them solar panels weren't real. It was a fucking mock-up. The fucking cameras that were on the damn thing were fucking security grade cameras you can actually put on the fucking back of your house. It's a false flag. Yeah, guys, we all got fucking duped. That weather balloon weren't Chinese. It was American. Those were American style solar panels. And believe it or don't, you know what they were used on? The solar panel look-alike mock-ups that were, you know what they were normally used on? You're gonna get a kick out of this. Those motherfuckers are normally utilized on RVs. Ask me how I know. I'll walk you out to the RV I got. This is fucking hilarious. We just shot down a damn decoy. Oh, and you know how I know that it weren't China's? It was filled with helium. Oops. Nunky Sam, you done funked it up, man. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big ass fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men fucked around too much to put them back together again. Yeah. Believe it or don't, America has the national reserve. The global reserve of helium. We are the only producers in the fucking world of helium lifting gas. That's why in World War II and in World War I, the Germans actually had to utilize hydrogen for their Zeppelins and their airships. America is the only producer of helium in the world. And with the trade embargoes going on with China, certain strategic elements like helium lifting gas, those things, they're fucking barred from actually transporting it there. Let alone the whole, Biden's bullshit in the background. Fuck that. I'm talking about the actual trade laws that are in place right now, the sanctions that are in place. We cannot trade strategic lifting gas to China for anything. They're using up all their helium, if they even have any. It's actually why the Hindenburg blew up, was because we at the time had that in place. It was, we couldn't trade strategic lifting gas to Germany, even though at the time we weren't necessarily at war with Germany. So yeah, it's because of trade embargoes. Right now we are not necessarily at war with China, but because of trade embargoes, we still can't fucking trade strategic lifting gas with them. It's resources and materials. Completely barred. Strategic resources and materials. Yes, I know Biden went and gave China a whole fucking 5 million barrels of fucking crude oil to China. He violated some laws to do that. But that's not as bad as like giving China dog out. It's not as bad as giving China lifting gas. Specifically because helium is also a component in one type of nuclear weapon. So no, we can't give them lifting gas. Before you ask, yes, helium is stable, but it is not non-fusile. Meaning it can be fused with other elements or with its own self. So again, we cannot actually trade helium, refined helium, to China. And if you'll notice, there was not any fiery explosion when that balloon got popped. It was just a big old cloud of whitish gas that dissipated really fast. Helium. Fuck. Got a piece of tobacco down a Sunday pipe. Yummy. Yep. We need to be on. Fuck. We need to be on point with this. Logic and reason. All right. Logically speaking, if that balloon was from China, it should have exploded with enough force that the plane that was taking it down would have had to course correct for explosive expansive force, because hydrogen exploding at that altitude would have ionized and then released so much energy that it actually would have knocked out our grid and done some serious damage to the F-22. So no, that was all show. It really pissed me off when I sat there and I thought about it. I was looking at it, I'm like, it doesn't make no fucking sense. Why? Where's the giant fucking fireball? All I saw was, a missile explosion, and the missile itself exploding, which means that we're missing something. That fireball should have been as bright as the sun. I don't think people realize what hydrogen does at different altitudes. When you're that close to the ionosphere, hydrogen fuses. It becomes helium when it's released into the ionosphere and not under pressure. It has to actually be at atmospheric pressure for it to fuse. This is a little known fact about hydrogen. So, yeah, I'm a little bit peeved, but I'm not as scared as I would be, and I'm not worried, because honestly, that was us. That wasn't China. China's just owning it because they're in cahoots with our government. Any kind of fear tactics works. Hmm. Wouldn't be surprised. Trying to make it look like it's the real thing, but there again, one, it was strategic lifting gas, and two, it failed to ionize. Helium takes a lot more to actually fuse. It takes a lot more to become plasmatic, which means it's not going to do what hydrogen will do at that altitude. So, yeah, we got taken for a ride. God, I'm glad I learned fucking astrophysics, nuclear physics, subatomic physics, freaking quantum physics, all that fun shit. Gave me a perspective that I don't think people really, you know, they don't look at as being important, because, who learns astrophysics unless you're going to be sitting there watching Star Trek all day, right? Go figure, you actually have to learn biology, you have to learn nuclear physics and subatomic physics, and chemistry, and just a plethora of different shit. Mm. Rollies. I like tobacco. Can I say? It gets the old crick out of me neck. Anywho, Um, yeah, I realized something that a lot of people aren't looking at, and that is things are wrong about this balloon. Things are very wrong. It might be made in China, but it's an American balloon. That or an American ally who launched it. I'll put it that way because helium, not hydrogen. Helium, not hydrogen, not methane, not neon, and the other ones are all too heavy. That's why I'm saying we're literally just jumping at shit. It's being spoon fed to us rather than actually doing the smarts and thinking about it and looking at shit objectively. And yeah, it pisses me off. It should piss you off. It should make you very, very, very fucking angry because we are being taken for a ride on a helium balloon. That should have been the first thing that everybody looked at and said, "Wait, now that don't make no fucking sense." Anybody who knows anything about worldwide war history knows we don't trade helium to countries that are belligerent countries. We don't do that. It's against our military trade embargo. It's actually against ITARs, so we don't do that, or we're not supposed to do that anyways. That wouldn't put much past Biden, but at the same time, helium, not hydrogen, and not methane. Methane won't go to as high of an altitude as hydrogen, and well, hydrogen would have had a forceful explosion. And when I say a forceful explosion, I mean an ionizing um, an ionizing plasmatic ignition of the lifting gas. What we saw, the only explosion, at least that I saw, was the the actual release of helium and the explosion of a missile. So yeah, no, that's the thing. Um, down real quick. You don't give any nation who flies a weapon over your strategic airspace a stern warning. You blow that fucking shit out of the sky. So I don't believe it. I really don't. And I'm not fooled. Not anymore. I had time to think on it. See, I already know for a fact that we were all screaming, blow that fucking turd out of the sky. And nobody did anything until it was already over the Atlantic. First off, that hampers recovery efforts. And it's actually more dangerous considering certain things. But still, threat to life and limb, it wouldn't have been great enough over the top of Montana. It would not have been great enough over the top of Colorado. It would not have been great. Honestly, this is going by the numbers. It would not have been great enough of a threat until it got to the East Coast. So why'd we let it get there? Food for thought. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was sitting there yesterday, like, oh, if you freaking World War II, World War One, they both use balloons. Why not? Now, but hey, no. This is all just fucking. Hey, look over here! Look over here! Look over here! Look over here! While I take that from your pocket. Misdirection and speed. Oh, and something that made me even more leery was that during this whole spiel, while this balloon is floating over the United States, everybody is looking at the fucking balloon. Congress and the ATF introduced more gun control bills. I would have much rather have the freaking local redneck get a hold of it than have it's sleeping with the fishes, or have the Chinese Navy going and diving off of our coast and possibly picking up a nuke, which happens to be in the same fucking vicinity at the same time as they're picking up the remnants of said balloon. But it's not even theirs. Hey, cuz, good to see you. Yeah, we just got pretty much taken for a ride. Yo. God damn. All right. Well, we'll go check on the chicken. Hey, girl. Hey, you okay? Still trying to push it out? Yeah, still trying to push it out. Ain't got nothing out. Poor thing. Well, y'all, this is my last ginger. She's down there. You can kind of see her. She's still trying to push one out. She ain't doing too good. Yeah, she's still trying to push that egg out. It's not coming out. I've been leaving her alone because stressing her out would be worse. So trying to actually let her do her thing without me being in there. Trying to help her out as much as I can, but She's 4 days bound, so I'm pretty sure she's going to die from this. It is what it is. Yeah. Isn't that something, cuz? We wasted thousands of rounds of anti-aircraft artillery shells on a fucking weather balloon. Our own weather balloon, by the by. Back in World War II over Los Angeles. And the worst part is that the only casualties were from our own fucking rounds. It was a weather balloon. It wasn't even a weaponized balloon. It was a weather balloon. Unidentified aircraft blowed up the sky. And then, well, you know what happens. Shit slides downhill. Life is what it is. We can't change it. We can only try to just live with it. So, for now at least, keep calm, keep your powder dry. Don't get me wrong, China's being real belligerent and all that, but this wasn't China. Strategic lifting gas. That's all I got to say. Like I said, cuz it weren't China's balloon, it was ours. It was our balloon. It was there for the spectacle alone. Any old redneck with a fucking 30-06 could have reached that motherfucker from the ground. But, you know, no, we're not important. We're not going to be shooting at the balloon or nothing. Nah, that's all right. Don't lose rounds now. Dog? The fuck, over? You know the rules. Now you may go. So, yeah. We just got taken for one hell of a ride. Hey, I love you too, but you need to get down. Jesus, dog. So, yeah, just so y'all know, I basically just woke up about like 20, 30 minutes ago. Got my coffee and went and checked on a chicken and then walked outside and started to stream. So, yeah, until 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, whatever. So yeah, an hour ago. Yep. Heel to toe, do-si do. However, it's not over the fucking balloon. The balloon was just a fucking false flag. It was a It was the USS Liberty, basically. That's what this were. Now, of course, you and I are gonna know this, but how many people are gonna? How many people are going to actually listen to what I have to say, right? They're gonna look at me and go, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know shit. And then they're gonna turn around and go the other direction in their own blissful stupidity. And forget about the fact that, you know, before y'all were, I mean, you know, relatively speaking, before y'all were out of high school, I was already doing complicated astrophysics and nuclear physics for fun. Just saying. I do know what I'm talking about here. The curse of all things history is that for those of us who do not learn what has come before, we are doomed to repeat it. And for those of us who have learned, we are doomed to stand idly by and watch it be repeated by those who did not learn. The last time the United States went to war with China over anything at least in a serious manner, was Korea. Before that, it was the fucking Boxer Rebellion. So, you know, with a grain of salt, take everything. But, you know, that China's actually one of our biggest strategic I mean, not strategic, one of our biggest trade partners as far as the civilian market is concerned, right? They transport more goods here, manufactured goods here, uh, than any other country in the world. They rely on us quite a bit more than anyone else for their economy. Because Americans are willing to beat down their own brethren to buy cheap goods. I'm not saying y'all, I'm saying other Americans, okay, because we know better, but whatever. Um, and even at that, cheap Chinese goods is fucking better than not being able to buy it at all. So some of us will still buy those goods. Yeah, their products are shit, but you know what? Like I said, shit's better than nothing. You can grow a garden out of fertilizer. You can't grow it in the air. Well, you can grow it in the air, but you can't grow it on air alone. You gotta have water, you gotta have fertilizer. You need to have light, and you gotta have heat. So yeah. Well, yes and no. See, the thing is about the Doolittle raid is most of the planes from the Doolittle raid did not make it to the mainland of China. They either dropped in Japan or um, in Japanese controlled Manchuria. Uh, they didn't. well, most of them did not make it all the way to friendly Chinese airspace. And so a lot of our pilots from the Doolittle raid ended up as prisoners of war if they didn't get shot down. Um, that's actual, recorded history. You can go back and look at it if you want. But the reality of it is we've been on icy terms with um, China since Korea. Well, since actually a little bit before Korea, right after World War II, right when China was still fighting its Sino-Civil War, and so yeah, shit happens. Things were up to me. I'd rather be friends with everybody, but that just never works. So you got to do what you got to do. And y'all know as well as I do, some man you just can't read. So we get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. I don't like it any more than you, man. Cool hand, Luke. Oh, the warden. So yeah. Anyways, that's where we're at, guys. An absolute clusterfuck of a shit show. And we're being spoon-fed lies by the one group of people we're supposed to be able to at least I won't say love or trust. I'll say be able to see what's coming ahead. The one group of folks that we're supposed to be able to turn around and say, you know what, they represent us, not the other way around. You get your nose off my workstation. What'd I tell you about trying to chew on my tools? Yeah, don't do it. Right. Hey, dog. You think you're hard, huh? You think you're tough? Yeah. Got the hole. I got the hole. You can't get me. I got the hole. Got you, hole. You can't get away. I got the hole. I got the hole. I got you stuck. You can't move, hole. I got the hole. I got the hole. You can't move, hole. I got the hole. All right, you come on. Let's all thing, Holmes. Yeah. That's true, cuz. That bozo in fucking office. Dude, I've never done more than run my own private company. Okay. I've never done more than be an entrepreneur. just a privateer, as it were. And I could run this fucking country better than Biden. I have no experience whatsoever in business economics. I have no experience whatsoever in the economics of running a nation, but I could do better than Biden. Let that sink in. I have no foundation to be able to do it, but I could. Food for thought, man. I could do it better than the whole fucking DNC right now. Fucking stupid motherfuckers. I've seen more brains fall out of a fucking box of oatmeal. I've seen more sense fall out of the fucking south end of a northbound dog, by God. That man makes me irate. Yeah, good old herbs of life, man. Valiant Thor. Well, if that's 1 out of 18 voices in your head, I'd say that one voice happens to be wrong. Also, I would say that you need to go get things checked out, but that's entirely up to you. I also happen to think that psychiatry and psychology and all that shit is fucking bullshit with a capital B. Can't wait for that episode either, Valiant. Sweet potato and 2 lemons could do better than Biden. Yeah, well, funny enough, it's funny that you mentioned that, Deathclaw, because that's why I can't be president. In a nutshell, um, royal descent. My mama's side, Stewart clan. Houdini, you do silence. There's no problem. That's the whole thing. That's with you. You need to go inside right now. Knock it off. But yeah, that's in a nutshell why I can't be president. I'm direct descendant on my mom's side from the Stewart clan. I believe I'd be the second to last remaining male heir. Just so as you know, I actually cannot hold office in the United States. The little known statute. Yeah, same here, Valiant. I feel left out that I'm missing, my classified documents access, because if this cheese dick can get his fucking his grubby mitts on freaking classified documents and keep them in his garage, I mean, the fuck, man. Why not just hand them to me? I mean, I'll do better taking care of them and keeping them from getting into the wrong hands. I guarantee you that. I'll fucking end up burning the motherfuckers if they're not in my sight. So yeah. Oh, no, no, no. No statues for that motherfucker. No statues for him. Because no. He don't get a statue. He allowed for somebody who actually had historical foundation, who had a reason for having a statue. He let that person's history be torn to shreds and turned into nothing. He let that person's statue be torn down by a bunch of fucking little kids rather than preserve history. Fuck him. He don't get a statue. Yes, Valiant is true. Ladies and gentlemen, Valiant Thor. The White House is officially the most expensive nursing home in America. Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah, George Floyd got one. There's a yo, shut up, fucking idiot. Like, dude, you take down the statue of a fucking war hero who literally fucking he gave up his citizenship to fight an oppressive regime. Specifically because he would not fight against his own statesmen. I want you to think about that for a second. That's why General Lee fought for the freaking the Confederacy, because he would not fight his own statesmen. What the fuck have we come to, right? We can't, have that semblance of unity. No, we got to squabble about every fucking thing. Dog! I can't hear myself think. Knock it off, dude. He's gone. Jesus wept. Oi! The fuck I just say? Best inning. Be right back. Stole for in and silence. Damn door's starting to really get to be too much. Ow. I start doing it with my palm more instead of my knuckles. I use the noise as kind of like a mental trigger for him. Get his attention so he won't do stupid shit. Yeah. Lee didn't get a pardon until General Ford's presidency. I want you to sit there and think about that. A fucking outright criminal who held a pregnant woman hostage with a firearm that at the time, for him, was 100% illegal because he was already a felon, several drug charges and whatnot. 100% illegal for him to have. But he held a pregnant woman who was very pregnant hostage with a gun against her belly. And this motherfucker gets a statue. But they take down the statue of a gentleman who actually fought for his statesmen, fought for his own countrymen and kin. That's what I want you to recognize here. This is what has happened in America. We have allowed children who have not the experience necessary to be able to do all of this, to dictate to us what we may or may not say or think or feel or understand as truth and logic and reason. We have allowed this to happen. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I didn't allow it to happen, but neither was I there to stop it. Because I did not have the monetary capability to do so, not because I wasn't willing. This is what we've come to. Our own government will fucking bust these little turds around. But if I want to oppose them, I have to pay for it. I have to go out of my fucking way to pay for that shit to get out there to stop them. And then I get arrested for stopping their violent bullshittery. And that's literally what it goes down to. You stop somebody's violence, you're going to jail. I want you to think on that real hard for a second, because let's look back at those fucking riots, right? Who got arrested? Who did the fucking vandalism? Hmm. You see what this is coming to. No real American that I know of would have gone and yanked down a statue of a historical figure for any reason, regardless of what his history was or how distasteful his history might have been. They're not going to go and yank down a statue of a historical figure. We don't do that. That's what other countries do. They try to suppress their bad history, their unspeakables, and try to bolster the good. Here in America, we lay it all out on the fucking table. Like when you're playing poker, you sit there and you hold your hand and you hold it real good until all the chips are down and everybody's done their bets. And then there's nothing else but to show your cards. And then we lay it all down on the table. Just to show that we're not cheating. But no, you can't do that in other countries. You go to another country and you talk about, like, Stalin, Lenin, or you go to another country talk about Gaddafi or Saddam Hussein. No, 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 no. That can get you fucking arrested and beaten to a bloody pulp with, you know, iron bars, and then dragged through the street by your ankles while you're still alive to scream about it. That's the reality we live in. And they have brought it here. It is coming here. When you start seeing, statues of historical figures toppling in America because of somebody's political whims, we are this fucking close to civil war. When you see Americans marching on the Capitol building, we are this fucking close to a revolution. And when I say marching on the Capitol building, I don't mean, protesting, yelling and screaming, sitting there fucking spitting at the Capitol police guards or whatever. Fuck that bullshit. That's just a protest. That's somebody getting a little bit too irate. All right? No. I'm talking about pushing over the barriers, storming the fucking place, armed, and burning it to the fucking ground, dragging them out by their fucking nads, and hanging them up by paracord wrapped around their ball sacks to a fucking tree. That is what I mean by marching on the Capitol. It is a whole different story. We're talking thousands of people, not hundreds. We're talking millions of Americans, not hundreds. So all of that January 6th bullshit was just that. It was bullshit. It was actors. It was a bunch of fucking actors and people who were fooled. Now, I'm very outspoken about all this. Mind you, I'm on Social Security now. I'm on SSI. I am dependent on the government for a paycheck. But it wasn't always that way. I started off my adult life working construction and as an animal caretaker and as a farmer and as a hunter. That's how I started off my adult life. And then I worked for several years. I don't know if what the comment was, Latina. Anyways, as I was saying, I worked for several years. Um, and my taxes, for like Social Security and for income tax and for all the others were so high that out of a $2,000 a week check, I got 350 bucks. I want you to understand what I mean when I say I paid fucking serious fucking taxes. All right. And it was a little different than most people out there. Y'all are getting, you're getting checked for maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and you're seeing about 800 to 900 of that, or 1,500 of that, depending on. Whereas me, I might, at the time I was making maybe 2, 3 grand, and I was seeing 350 bucks of it. So it's a big fucking difference. All right, I paid 35% for Social Security. I paid, what was it, 16% for income. I paid 13.78 for uh what you call it, sales. I paid what was it, I think it was out of each check it was 80 bucks. I know that much for asset asset insurance. I mean asset what you call it, asset taxes. When I say that I paid so much in taxes that anybody else would have been marching on the fucking Capitol with a pitchfork in hand, I want you to understand something. My own dad looked at me and said, "You fucking commie." Mind you, this Southern Democrat man. He looked at me in the face and said, "You fucking commie, you're paying too much." Now I live on Social Security. So, yeah, I'm kind of dependent on our government for a paycheck. And even then, I am entirely outspoken against our government to the point where I think that if I could go and, do business without the permutation because I've got the education and knowledge base and, the history, I would do it. And I would probably not make as good of a living off of what I did as, say, somebody else who's doing the same thing and doesn't have physical disabilities, or sorry, physical handicaps. But I would still be better off than I am now. I get about between 950 and 1050 a year now, I think. Now what they did it up to, or 950 and 1050 a month. So yeah, it's not much. And that's after Biden put more towards it. Once it gets down to the guy at the bottom of the bottom of the ladder, they're not getting money. They're getting fucked in the ass and told take it. So, don't go after the people who are on Social Security. They're suffering. In fact, a lot more so than some other people are. Unless, of course, it's these families with, 90 fucking dependents and, yeah, sorry. No, that doesn't work for me. I call that fraud. You can work. There's no reason why you can't work. That is the money for those people who were working really fucking hard and then ended up getting hurt in some way, shape, or form and can't work at the same pace as the rest of the country now. That's what that's for. That's for people who have brain damage. That's for people who have bodily damage and cannot do what everyone else can actually keep up with. That's not for, Consuelo and her 90 babies. Tell you what, man, shit's irritating me. I would go without Social Security if I could. I don't have a choice. Yeah, that's true. Latina. No, I don't act like all illegals are Hispanics. It's just that the vast majority of them are Latina. Honest to God, truth. Hispanics and not Saudi, Hispanic, um, Middle Eastern, and funny enough, Chinese. That's where most of our illegal immigration comes from. Then after that is Canadian, and then after Canadian is European, because Europeans are more likely to actually do things legally. Matter of fact, most of those countries I just mentioned are willing to do things legally, would rather do things legally. It's just that some people don't give a fuck, or some people have been barred from coming to the United States because they came here and caused mayhem and hurt people rather than trying to be a productive part of society. So, no, Latina, it's not a matter of I think all illegals are only Hispanics. It's just a matter of because I lived in Los Angeles, I got to have a front row seat to it. Because I lived in Blythe, California, I got to watch it happen. Okay. It's a little different. I understand why some people would be more inclined to say, oh, well, you're just racist. No, I'm not racist. I'm biased. I'll be quite fair and honest with you. I'd still box a motherfucker's ears coming from England who did it wrong. You bet your ass. You come here illegally, you should get your ass whooped, in my opinion. Straight the fuck out, beat down by 90 motherfuckers, standing on top of you, beating the shit out of you until you're black and blue to the point where you're barely breathing. Because you came here without doing it correctly. There is a correct method and manner. Good point, Valiant. Very good point. Because I'll say it, it's pretty much as the way as you said it. If I were to go and sneak into the White House Should they put me in Congress? Or should they drag my ass out the fucking front door with my heels dragging to a waiting police car and then take me to jail because I went and I snuck into a federal building rather than walking through the front door and doing it legally by being elected into that position? Food for thought. That's why I get so irate about this shit. It's not that they're fucking doing it, it's that they're doing it illegally. And you can tell the difference between the two. When I was down there on the border, the people who were doing it legally, I met Mexicans all the time. I met fucking Hispanics, all right, all the time, who are legally in America, we're here working, we're having a good time, we're having, you're making a life for themselves. Some of them had been here for longer than 14 years and had had their green card turned over to a citizenship. This is what I'm talking about. All right. The real upstanding people. And then you've got the idiots that come walking across the fucking just no man's land out there. And anybody that they run into and say, hey, what are you doing here? This is private property. They shoot at them. You know, they come across somebody else out there in the midst of the thicket. They kill them and they leave their bodies there to rot. Do you know how many dead bodies I've seen in the middle of the fucking desert when I was out there just doing what I did, which was to ride my quad through the desert and just hang out in the middle of the the dunes and the dust, you know, sit there and watch the border. You know how many dead bodies I found out there? Some of them years old. Let's just put it this way. I don't puke when I see a dead body anymore. Kind of hard to shoot back when you can't see what you're shooting at, cuz I'm just going to say that infrared is expensive. FLIR is really expensive, especially when you're on a budget like mine. At nighttime is when the coyotes are running. I got shot at more than once because I almost stumbled right into them. It's hard to tell if somebody's an illegal immigrant, I'll tell you that much, especially if they're from Canada. Normally, the only way that you tell is if you get them to ID themselves. And in America, people playing this game of I don't have to show ID. Yeah, motherfucker, you do. That's actually the law. Here in the United States, you have to show ID. You have to show that you're an American citizen and that you're not, for some reason or another, running from a crime you committed. That's how that works. That's why we have the identification system. But, you know, what do I know? I only spent fucking close to a decade on fucking California, Arizona, and Mexico border. In the capacity of Minuteman, so I didn't even have the ability to arrest anybody. The most I could do is report it, and if somebody shot at me, I could shoot them. That was it. Lots of fun. And there's something. Glamis is actually not that far from there. You know that, Thor? Where I used to be, literally just driving around doing just, back and forth along the Colorado River down to the border and back. Glamis ain't that far away from right there. I used to drive through Glamis all the time to go, back and forth between where I was at and where, my mom lives out in Los Angeles. So, yeah, I've been to Glamis. Looked like it was a lot of fun. Wish I could have done that back when I was much younger. Had the ability to take, jump off of a dune and whatnot. I'd have loved it. I know I would have. As it stands, there weren't while I was traveling through Glamis. Of course, you try and travel that freeway through Glamis. That's something else, man. You feel like you're on a different planet. Huh. Yeah, that's something else, though. It's not that, I'm not frightened of death. I'm not, and it's not that I get disgusted by it either. It's a matter of, I don't like to see it. It's not something I enjoy. And I like to enjoy what work I do. Yeah, I'll say. I mean, shit, if you're going to be jumping a banshee at 45 miles an hour off of a dune and getting, catching about 60 feet in the air, going over the top of a couple of other, Jeeps or whatever out there, I'd call that an unidentified aerial phenomenon. That was pretty funny right there. Yeah, I know morticians make really good money though. And when I say really good money, it's because there are very few and far in between people that are willing to do it, you know. And it is pretty much a thankless job. That's something that I don't wish on others, I'll tell you that much. I don't think that, you should be forced to ever do it for certain. Those people who find some morbid enjoyment in it should be allowed to, barring necrophilia. I I spent enough time around dead bodies that it was, as long as I don't smell it, I'm good. That's how I came to know about the Vicks vapor rub. So I came to know about standing up wind and breathing through your nose after you put the Vicks vapor rub on here, because if you breathe through your mouth, you could still taste it. Yeah. You know, I ain't lying. There are some smells you can taste on the wind. And that's one of them. That's one of them smells that really is just gross. Well, I wouldn't say uselessness. To be fair and honest, some of my education, not all of it, in fact, not most of it, but some of it, little tidbits here and there, are from the internet. Actually, from right here on YouTube, funny enough. I like to watch chemistry videos. I like to watch electrical videos. I like to watch engineering videos. And you can learn a lot of really useful information on YouTube if you have the knowledge base to go from to start with. Hell, cuz you know that's why I carries an air gun, right? And yeah, I spent some time the other day thinking about it. You know, last time I did endurance training, I did it with a 6.5 pound something or other. Imagine having to do it with a freaking 15 pounds something or other. You know what I'm saying? Don't get hung up on small shit. Just because I says something doesn't necessarily mean that I'm meaning it. It means that I'm getting a certain measure of angst out of my person. Believe it or don't. You ever heard of whooping? That's when you sit there and you just, like you're huffing and puffing, but you're not going to blow the house down. You're just huffing and puffing. It's called woofing. Come on, you says you live in LA. I know you know that term. That's just woofing. No, I don't think that they should be beat, but you know, if they're fucking coming to America illegally, then there needs to be something more than just incarceration. There needs to be a threat of violence. You know, I'm just saying there does need to be a threat of violence. It can't be just incarceration. There has to be something of a greater punishment, because otherwise it's not cruel enough. That's not cruel enough to enhance the mind to understand that what happened was wrong. And, I know that sounds horrible, but let's just go back 100 years and think about the laws then. If you were caught for cattle rustling, you were hung. If you were caught raping a woman, you were skinned alive and then raped by every single man in the township. If you were caught murdering somebody, depending on the level of the crime itself, they might just drag you to the hangman's noose behind a horse and cart. If you burn down a farm, and this is just in America, mind you, all right? This is just in America. All these laws are specifically just in America. If you were caught burning down a farm or killing farmers, they would hang you up by your thumbs, by these, from a tree, like this. And then they would proceed to beat you with a willow cane until you were almost dead. And they would leave you there. Now, imagine this. To this day, if you are caught committing sodomy in Thailand, they will tie your hands behind you by the wrists so that you're got your hands clasping together. And then they will literally pick you up by a rope tied around your wrists until your arms pop out of their sockets and you hang straight up and down. And that is to this day. So when it comes down to it, violence, a little bit of violence to reinforce that understanding that, hey, if you're coming here and you're doing so legally, then we accept you and we love you as part of our society. But if you're not going to do so legally, we are going to take you away from here. We're going to drop you back wherever you came from. And on top of that, we're going to beat the snot out of you. And beat the snot out of you, just so you know, is a colloquial term for punishment. It means, like what your mama and daddy used to do when you was a kid, spankings. It's like, maybe you got to do hard labor or some shit. And when I says hard labor, I mean it should hurt. Your body should hurt by the end of the day. And sitting on your ass watching everybody else work is not hard labor. Okay, just plain and simple. So that's what I think. Really, I don't think that somebody should literally be beaten. It's just a matter of when I get angry, I say some things I don't necessarily mean. Come on, girl. Still ain't dropped that. Wow. It smells like shit in there. It's starting to stink. I have to That would be the thing. Starting to smell like chicken shit in there. So yeah, that's to this day, by the way, going crazy. 100%. That's to this day. People in some countries still get their hand removed for stealing. So, things like that. There has to be something more. All right. And yes, in Thailand, they do it to married couples. If you are caught sodomizing a child, you get your ass strung up by the fucking arms until your fucking shoulders pop out in Thailand. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Here in America, we don't do that. We put your ass through the fucking justice system, and then you're a sex offender for life if you live through the justice system. You understand? There's a little bit of a difference there. We're not cruel and unusual like that, but we need to be getting a little bit more cruel. There needs to be just a hint of violence. There needs to be a hint of violence there, because human beings do not learn except through pain and consequence. If we make a mistake, we don't understand it's a mistake unless something goes wrong. For instance, if I sit here and I put my hand on top of this burner when it's lit and it doesn't burn my hand, I'm not going to know it's hot. And I'm not going to know it's a mistake. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. There needs to be that slight little bit of pain that makes you understand, wait, this is wrong. Hi, Miss Tina. See, that's an important thing. I'm about to lose my juice on my computer, so I gotta plug her in. So, might as well stream from the computer, I guess. Plug this sucker in. Give me a second to reroute shit, as it were. Thank you. Now, compoluter. Go ahead. Fucker. Come here. No, that. Damn sticky. It won't sticky. All right. There we go. And pull up on here. StreamYards. Entering studio. I check 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to exit out with this one. And come in with this one. Now, give me a 5x5 if y'all can hear me, if everything's all right. Let me know that I actually up here and y'all can see me. And then I'm going to walk back outside and have a cigarette because I'm sitting here, got a knot in my shoulder. Swords. Honestly, still working on the first one. I've been doing lots of grinding, actually, since you saw me, and there really doesn't look like there's much been done. But
I've been doing grinding since you last saw it. Yeah. With you on that. Shit's enough to get me mad, I'll tell you that much. Freaking pedos. Pedo piles! I'd like to make piles of pedos. Would you chill, dude? No. Back it up. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dog. Freaking lap full of canine. Hold on. Dog, I love you, but you gotta get that. Get Thailand. That's it. Just offer. Oh, you're not from Southern, you're from Central. Okay. Oh, by the way, it seems you would have a little bit of lag. Either up here or on here. Now, mind you, I'm just telling you what my views are. All right. My views are my views. They do not have to be yours. They do not have to be something that you take on and make them your beliefs, but they're what I believe. All right. They're what I know and what I've come to understand, because I look at things with a very close sense of logic and reason, and what I can see with my own eyes and hear with my own ears and recreate myself in a laboratory. So trust, but only that which you verify. My take on the Chinese balloons is that they're American balloons. And we needed a reason to shoot it down. To be fair and honest with you, looked at it closely. Either we're giving China our outdated tech, or that's literally off of the whatchamacallit balloon. The Red Bull balloon. Alice is pretty funny. Yeah, they shot it. They shot one down in South Carolina, right off the coast of South Carolina, actually. Enough to make you kind of nutty, don't it? And yes, I see your comments there, Latita. I don't honestly think you're mentally slow. I think that you've got lag on the computer. That's what I think, because that's my experience. Even people who are slow on the uptake are a lot quicker than how you've been responding to me. So, yeah, I think you got lag on the computer. Oh, and that's how long it took me to make a decision on whether or not to answer that, by the way. So, no, I don't think you're slow. Methodical, sure. Slow? Mm-mm. No, it's not another one. It's the same one. It's just that they're showing so much of this video of it that people think that it's two of them. No, there was one that was shot down over Montana, or not over Montana, but just before it crossed into Montana. And then there was one shot down off the South Carolina coast. I smell a setup. And I ain't got a good sense of smell, just to let you know. Wow, it's that laggy? You're just now seeing hoodoo? Really? Holy crap. Fuck my life. Must be because I have too much open or something. I can always pull up the Mars map again. And so now I'm down to 3. There we go. Okay. Enjoy your new Class A's. Please treat them with respect because they can be taken and they will be taken if you break the 4 rules. Well, 5 rules. No, 4 rules. There's literally 4 rules, and it's actually 4 rules out of 2, which breaks down to no bullying and no porn. It's only 2. Guys, I'm trying to keep this channel a little bit, legit. I cuss like a sailor. I drank like a fish. I talk real. I spit. I'm a dog. But, yeah, no bullies. Do not appreciate them. And no porn. Yeah, Holly weird. Legit-ish. Yeah, I know. Ha 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 ha. Somewhat, you know. I mean, I still shoot air guns. I still do stupid shit. I make swords. I freaking, like I said, I cuss like a sailor. I think logically. My mouth runs. So, you know, I disagree. I think that a healthy amount of porn is actually good for the human body, but that's neither here nor there. He's good. He's sitting over there yonder behind me chewing on something. Yeah, the only reason why my channel is actually, you know, adults only is specifically because I cuss. And I have cussed since I was about 4 years old. I just consider it to be language. You know, expletives. Um, the word fuck, the word shit, the word damn. And I could even appreciate somebody using a GD, because the reality is when you want to actually exploit that particular, when you want to ask God to damn something, just fine by me. So yeah, expletives. That theory is not fact. Um, if it was fact, then you'd be talking to a retard. I'll just put it that way, Latina. If that theory was fact, you'd be talking to a retard, not somebody who actually can draw memories on things like nuclear physics and whatnot. The brain damage that I have sustained is actually from concussive force. Well, why shouldn't they? Let me put it this way. It's natural for men, for the male of any species for that matter, to be attracted to a healthy adult female of the same species. That's healthy. So, saying that men just start looking for, no, they don't just start looking for these women when they start watching porn. They look for these women anyways. The matter of fact is that you find attraction to healthy, youthful, somewhat slender, but athletic. You fall in love with a person's mind. That's the difference, Latina. That's why, yes, attraction and love are two different things, very different things. Okay. It's kind of funny that I'm having to sit here and explain to birds and to bees, but whatever. Ain't no thing. I'll explain. Shit, my name's Blaine. My grandmammy used to call me Blainer the Explainer. So, she also called me the Great White Hunter, which was kind of funny. Nein, du warst aufhängen. Bis wer? Ja. I don't know what kind of porn y'all's watching, but that ain't what I got. American Pride. Well, don't worry, brother. I'm one of those folks that, you stick around long enough, you come back through and whatnot. Or even then, if you got your act right, I hand out Class A's like they're candy. Now, that being said, those things can be taken from you. There are 2 rules. No pornography. Whether you're in the chat or up on panel, no pornography. We can talk sex ed, but we can't talk pornography. Okay? We can't, we can talk sex ed, but we can't show pornography. Okay? And no bullies. I won't tolerate a bully. I just don't. It's a matter of I've been bullied throughout my entire life by everybody because they think that I'm somebody who could be stepped on. And it's not until you get into a bully's face and you tell them to fuck off that they actually get the clue. Some of them don't get the clue until after you fuck them off. So, it is what it is. But yeah, like I says, you got your act right on. You're welcome here. You're gonna probably have a ranch in no time. Man, that's cool, man. What you rapping about? That's something I'm into. Like, I listen to Tom McDonald. I listen to Tupac. Let that blow your mind. I listen to rap. I've heard a few things from St. Macy's. So yeah. I actually kind of like a few of the songs from what was I done forgot already, damn it. I'll just say the song name. Y'all know the song name. It's called Welcome to My House. Oh, he goes over to conspiracies? All right. Well, there again. To me, it doesn't matter one way or the other, all right? Like I said, you got your act right on. You're going to end up with you'll end up with a Class A's. And then if you go screwing up, you know how it works. It's like in the military, like in the militia. You fuck up, you get demoted. You keep fucking up, you get freaking annexed. You get the fuck out, It's that simple. That's how it works. So it becomes a matter of you just got to keep your act right on. That's all. And I'm in that kind of handing stuff out sort of a mood personally right now. All right. Yes, Latina, new breed. Welcome to my house. So yeah, I'm into all sorts of music, bro. It's just a matter of my taste runs to being raw. You know, I used to be a huge fan of country music. This new country music, came out in the 2000s, from the 2000s to up to about, little bit prior to now. These new genres of country music, I'm kind of like, hey, man, nah, I'm good. I'll stick with Waylon Jennings. I'll stick with Alabama. Garth Brooks, even, I'll stick with that. I don't need none of this. Like, there's a few new country songs that I'll listen to and I'm all right with, but most of them are on that level, or just like, no, son. No, I'm not I'm not offended. I used to love Eminem. I used to think, hey man, that guy's a shit. Come up from nothing, worked his ass off, and became something. Now he's a fucking pansy ass. Capitulate for everybody. Because I made it somewhere. I could do this shit. You know what, motherfucker? No, hold up. Breaks real quick. You just took a different path, made more money. There's a difference. You didn't make it nowheres. Making it somewhere was literally the surviving that you did. Making it somewheres was becoming a father and then trying to do something with that. Having the will to make that fucking effort. Money, cars, clothes, all that bullshit. That ain't getting somewheres. Having a large following of people, that ain't getting somewheres. You know what capitulation is? It means you give yourself entirely over to somebody else's whim instead of following your own heart, your own mind. That's what capitulation is. When you do because somebody else told you to do. So yeah, that man is capitulated. You'll notice I haven't actually capitulated yet because I've been instructed to not have any weapons. I've been instructed to have a neat and tidy little tongue. I've been instructed to keep my beard nice and trimmed. I've been instructed to do a lot of damn shit. I ain't done it. Because I'm going my own motherfucking way. I ain't one of these punks. I literally, I walked myself through life. I had my mom, I had my dad to give me that instruction as a young man. I had my friends give me that little, punch in the shoulder. Hey, bro, keep on. You can do it. But I survived. And I survived in places where lots of people that have my demeanor and my attitude and my looks and my way about things would be dead. I got your snoot. I got your snoot. Look, I got your snoot. Come on, boy. Yeah, you got it back. Yeah, you got it back. Galamba. My channel is all right. So the Guardsman started off as, you know, parodies and parodies, reactions, and rants. And then I went to reviews, and then I went to starting to show more of who I am personally, and letting y'all into my head, because that's what it started out as, anyways. And then after a while, it became more about the fact that I am an American and we're all Americans, and I am going to do what I can to protect that way of life. You know, whether or not I'm in the military or in the police force or whatever, what have you, that's neither, never mind. I'm an American, and I have that ability, because of the Second Amendment, to stand to that service. It's called being the militia. The militia isn't just, oh, I got, my rifle, I got my dog, and I got, if the country's invaded, I can take them on. No. That's not the be-all and end-all of being a Minuteman. A Minuteman is dedication to service. Just like in the military, the last thing you're using is your gun. The first thing you're using is your mind. It's the same thing as a Minuteman. The last thing you ever use is your gun. That doesn't mean that that you're not working as a part of the militia. It just means that the last thing you ever want to have to do is to be on that line and having to utilize that weapon. But when it comes, you're ready for it because you've trained for it. And that's why all these other skills are important. Whatever skills you have, emphasize utilizing those skills and refining them, because those skills are more important, or just as important, as the skill of being able to utilize that firearm or that knife. Okay? Being able to do that combat. So that's the way I look at it. As the militia is not, we're not first and foremost a fighting force. Okay? We are first and foremost a service. We serve to aid others in our community. That's how it works. Whatever community that is. Now, I use my mind to help y'all when I can. I try to help you look through certain things. I give you facts and I give you logic to try and help out with that. I mean, y'all already have that. It's just a matter of, those are the little bits I'm trying to help out with when I can, because that's what I know. I have a large knowledge base, and I have I have the willingness to help. I grew up as the big brother, the older brother. Two younger siblings, my sisters. I grew up being the one that was helping. I grew up being the one that was supposed to be the example. Shut. You do silence. Don't care. You do silence. Hond. Best all thing. Anyways, I learned a lot of different things growing up. I'm probably one of the few people in America that could theoretically actually make a nuclear weapon with the knowledge that I have. One of the few people that actually could, because I know everything about it. I'm one of the few people in America that actually could make a biological weapon because I know everything about it. That being said, I would never do it. Dog, shut the fuck up. I told you already once. You go inside next. Houdini is a German Shepherd, Aleutian Shepherd, and Doberman Pinscher mix. A big dog. He's only about a year old, and I'm still training him. Both. I'm equally fluent in both. I can give orders. I'd rather not. I'd rather have somebody already thinking on their feet, so that I don't have to give orders, so that I don't have to have them ask for permission. Because the reality is I'm not going to wait for you to ask for permission. I'm just going to act. So, and if somebody gives me orders, I can take orders. If it's in that particular setting, in that type of structured setting, I can take orders. I don't enjoy it. And I much rather if people ask me to do something, because honestly, it works better with how my mind works. Ask me to do something, I'm more likely to do it. It's the silence. I don't think that he would be very writable for an adult, but hey, 2-year-old or 1-year-old, maybe. He might be able to handle that weight. Pinche? Really? You're trying to make me say fuck in another language? I mean, come on. Yes, I speak a little Spanish. Yo hablo poco español. Mujer. But yeah, no, Pinscher is German. All well, 2 out of the 3 breeds are German breeds, and the other one is an American breed built from a German breed. So, well, from a German and a Belgian breed. Funny enough. Oh, and pit bull and husky, because yeah, Aleutian Shepherd, German Shepherd, and Doberman Pinscher. So the Aleutian Shepherd, you have I think there's like 4 different breeds that make up the origination line. There's a pit bull, a wolf dog, German Shepherd, and a Belgian Malinois. Or the origination lines for the Aleutian Shepherds. Oh, the wolf dog was a Russian wolf dog, by the way. See what I mean? My knowledge base I'm talking about here. Let me just unpack my brain for a second and set it on the table. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to break the table. Yeah, Houdini is 100% bred to be a war dog. He is war dog breed. That's the best as I could say. He is 100% war dog breed. Aleutian Shepherds were bred to be war dogs. German Shepherds were bred to be war dogs. Doberman Pinschers were bred to be the ultimate guard and attack dog. So, yeah, he is bred to be a war dog. That's why it's like it's a bit of a difficulty, He's gonna bark, I know that, but I can teach him little nuances that make it a little bit easier to work with him. Oh yeah, you fuck up in the backyard, he'll let you know. The reason why I'm trying to teach him silence is because I'm trying to get him to not announce our presence if that is necessary. I have to work with commands in German because, in specifically a certain dialect of German, because of how he is, his mind is built. Basically, his brain is built. There's a silence. Let me see your face. Just facing. Ja, du schlafen. Du schlafen. Right. You schlafen. Be patient. I know. Hey, I gotta get the crap out of you eyes. Hey, you schlafen. Let Papa see your face. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thailander. Where's he? See, Houdini is, like I said, he's a war dog. Ever since I got Who, we haven't had an issue with having very many puma in the area. All right. Ever since he's grown up, mind you. When we first got here and he was a puppy, I ran off a bear, I ran off a couple of puma, and at least one pack of coyotes in the time that it took for him to, get up to full size. Yeah. German commands so as not to misunderstand his task, and that it is an order, not a suggestion. Suggestions come in English. Orders come in German. Was? Hey, was innen? Passiert. Oh. That's a dog. Okay. Sitting here like, is that a wolf? No, that's a dog. Subtle differences in vocal pitch and tempo. That's how you can tell the difference between a dog and a wolf. Different dialect, by the way. Dogs and wolves don't speak the same dialect. They both speak canine. They don't speak the same dialect. Going crazy, you have a good day. And don't worry, be happy. Happiness is what we need to pursue. Freedom is the way that we do so. So, arrive dirt cheap, my brother. God, I hope that chicken passes that egg. I was hoping to have one reliable hen before, getting another batch of chicks. Of course, if she passes away, then it's going to end up being she's going to go on the cooker because the other ones they froze to death out here, and it soiled the meat, as it were. Albuterol is a steroid, so perhaps there may be another reason. Steroids can cause certain issues with other infections and stuff like that. So that might be the case, or it might not be the case. It all depends. Cough syrup is not the fucking way to go. If we're talking something like asthma, for instance, cough syrup is definitely not the way to go. You can cause someone to have a worse asthma attack by utilizing cough syrup to stop asthma attacks. If it's COPD, then there's a difference. Cough syrup can help a little bit with the effects of COPD, but again, that can cause addiction dependence. So it's not a good idea. Like I said, for asthma, you don't want to do cough syrup. You want to do something like coffee or cool water, not cold, not hot, not warm, cool water. Helps to relax the airways. Mint can both aggravate and aid in an asthma attack. So it depends on how you use it. Cold air can cause an asthma attack. But the shock of going from warm air to cold air can actually cause an asthma attack to end. And that's why caffeine works, because it's basically it's an adrenaline inhibitor, which means that it replaces adrenaline in your body. So your body will react as if you're getting adrenaline. Just a longer lasting version of it. And so that's why it helps with asthma attacks. When it comes down to asthma attacks, the best way to treat it It's actually the worst thing for your heart, but it's the best way to treat it is with pseudoephedrine, believe it or don't. For long term, it's pseudoephedrine. For short term, it's caffeine. Like in the moment that somebody's having an asthma attack, caffeine. For the long term, it's going to make them like leery. You know what leery is? That's where it feels like you've got blinders on, or like, you know, your face is not stuffy, but is like you've got like a mask on of salt on your face, or like one of those peel away masks for taking blackheads out of your face. It feels like you got one of those on, but you know, everything else is you got lots of energy, you're hyper, you know, all the rest of it. It's just the flush in your face. And so, yeah, you get leery when you have pseudoephedrine. Um, but yeah, I would never ever treat asthma with cough syrup. I mean, and depending on, you know, situation, albuterol will actually open your lungs. It'll open your airways. It causes your diaphragm to relax so that you can actually breathe in deeper. Um, and the sulfate side of it, the binder to for albuterol will actually start to break down the phlegm in your lungs. So I know that because I used to be on it when I was a kid. I grew up with having asthma. And I have not had an asthma attack, you know, for a long time. But I had a couple when I was an adult. But yeah, treat what I used to do to treat asthma attacks was I carried spearmint chewing gum and a bag of eucalyptus in my backpack, and if I was at home, I'd drink a cup of coffee. If I you know, I was having an asthma attack coming on, I'd quickly go make myself a cup of coffee and then get some coffee in me. Um, or I'd get a cool glass of water if we didn't have any coffee. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I treated it. Because I realized that the albuterol sulfate inhaler that I was on was causing me to have heart palpitations. And pulmonary issues like blood clots in my lungs. So I learned real quick I can't be doing albuterol except in the most dire emergency. Like they have to give me albuterol if I've stepped on a bee or something like such, you know, a bee or a wasp or a hornet, and I get stung, and it's been longer than 15 minutes before I get like, you know, some pseudoephedrine or something in me. If I don't, you know, don't do that right away, pretty much, I'll end up falling asleep and my throat will close up. About 45 minutes after I've had a bee sting, my throat starts to close up. And the lack of oxygen, the lack of ability to breathe will actually cause me to pass out. So yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, me and my mom, we spent tons of money on pharmaceutical drugs just trying to figure out what was the problem. Come to find out, there's only a couple of problems that have been added to, and since then, but really, they were physical in the beginning. I was born with a small heart. And that causes me to have lower blood pressure, which fluctuates quite, in an oscillating kind of form. It fluctuates quite often. And so they put me on, steroids when I was a kid to build up my heart. After a while, my heart started to get too strong, and it started to not beat correctly. That's what I'm talking about with them pharmaceuticals. So yeah, if y'all wonder why I do some of the things I do, I act some of the ways I act, is because that's what got me to live this long. I survived. I used my brain to do what others would not or could not do for me. And what they could or would do for me, I was more than willing to accept. But anymore, I don't want that. So, any Hoosiers, all of a sudden, um, I come up with this idea that there might be another way. And that's the way I live now. Ain't it grand when you have to sit there and speak in such generalizations because Screw Tube done lost their minds, won't let you talk real. Like real shit that you might know. Like, for the fact of the matter is that, you probably spent a lot of time researching it. Doesn't mean it's correct. It just means you spent a lot of time researching it. What about those of us who experimented in order to proof that research? Just because we don't have certifications, YouTube goes, oh, you don't have the piece of paper necessary. I learned something when I was a young man. If you fail to understand and adhere to logic and reason simply because somebody speaks it and they do not have a certification, then you are not as educated as you may think. Remember, you can literally get a certification in the United States for a bunch of different shit, and never have to study a day because it all exists online. So for those of us who actually studied it, it's kind of insulting because we sit there and we know because we studied it and we spent a lot of time learning it and imprinting it into our minds. Whereas these other folks are just like, hold on, let me look it up on my phone. You know, if the folks who helped the Apollo program get into orbit were constantly running back to go and check their reference guides, we'd have never, and I mean never, even put a space station into outer space. Forget about going to the moon or any of that other shit. We'd have never even put satellites up there. We wouldn't have the technology of freaking balloons. We wouldn't have people that have been able to jump from a balloon at a high altitude and survive. Okay. So, when it comes down to it, logic dictates you learn it first. And then if you absolutely have to, because you're not absolutely 100% certain, because when you were learning it, you were a little bit, out of phase with stuff. You have to go back and check your references, do so. But not knowing something, not having at least an inkling of what you're talking about, makes me nutty. I'll put that out there. I tell you what. Let me put it to you as this. I bring to the table decades of learning. Decades. Not just, last 5 to 10 years or something. No. Let's say 30 years studying astrophysics. Let's say 28 years of studying nuclear physics. Let's say 31 years of studying chemistry since I was a child. Yes. That's why I'm saying I know things. I don't just, I'm not going to go and check it out on Google because I know it. I've done it. I've looked at it. I've learned it. And I've actually had it pounded into my mind. So, no, I'm not going to go look it up on Google. If I have to look it up on Google, that means that while I still know what I learned, I may not remember completely because it's been a while and I have to go and reference. Canola oil. Recently, some scientists have come out and said, or not really scientists, but dietitians. Okay, we're talking not nutritionists, but dietitians have come out and said that it's actually the inverse of what we thought. Trans fats are somewhat actually good for you. You need a certain amount. You need a certain amount of cholesterol. Some poly and monounsaturated fats are actually really fucking bad for you. Go figure. Chemistry. Imagine for a second why I eat a fuck ton of butter. I'm skinny. Hold up. I think I'm being hunted. Huh. That don't make no fucking sense. I'll be right back, y'all. Regular old butter from milk. Butter as made from buttermilk. Okay. Obviously not. I just heard some, probably a rat rustling in the weeds or something. Anyways, as I was saying, chemistry. It taught me some stuff. I ate straight butter, like regular old butter, not ghee butter or special butter or apple butter or almond butter or any of these special flu fancy fucking butters. No, just salted butter in the brick. Butter. Some folks call it whole butter. Illegal to stand in the median with a sign pretending to raise money to bring family to USA from Romania. Depends on the area. Some places panhandling is illegal. Other places, if you're holding a sign, cardboard cutout or whatever, it doesn't matter what it says on it. It's all considered panhandling. So, not really. However, there is one caveat. It is illegal to impersonate a officer of the law, a United States military soldier, sailor, or Marine airman, guardsman, or guardian. And it is 100 fucking percent illegal. To impersonate a veteran of that status in order to gain monetary influx while panhandling, as the law read. It ain't gotta be sticks, Husky. It's easier to stack when it sticks. It's easier to measure when it sticks. That's all. Stolen valor is a crime. That's why I don't like being accused of it. I tell folks I am militia. I have never been military. I am not military. And please do not try to put that on me. I cannot call myself a veteran because I am militia. I say this so fucking often, I'm getting red in the face from it. Yet people still try to put it off on me as I'm sitting there stealing valor. Makes me scratch my head. And it is a crime. If you can prove that that person is doing such, it is a fucking crime. It's a felony. Yeah, I know it. I know it, Husky. I know it weren't you, brother. I'm just saying, I've been accused of it in the past, and I've been accused of it on the fucking street by dumb fucks that don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Little 14-year-olds and shit. Because I'm wearing a pair of fucking fatigues. Come on, son. What? I like, military surplus gear. It's tough enough that I can actually wear it without destroying it right off the bat. I wear a pair of jeans. I'm gonna have holes in them motherfuckers come nightfall. So that's why I wear military surplus gear. It's tough enough to actually take the beating I put on clothes. I really, really like Bates boots. They're comfortable. They're battle tested, all right? Something that's battle tested speaks a lot to my mind because, like I said, I am not military. I come from a military family. My sister was in the Navy. My granddad was in the Navy. One of my cousins was in the Marine Corps. I was not. I was in the militia. And I joined a actual militia group versus just calling myself, I'm above the age of 18, da-da-da-da-da-da. No longer actively part of that group, but that's neither here nor there. I trained with them. So that's the difference. And there is a bit of a chasm there. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, if you're over the age of 18 in the United States and a United States citizen by any capacity, you are the militia, whether you like it or not. Yeah, that is too bad. See, I see here. I joined up with a group of folks out of Pennsylvania back in 2008. And in 2010, I actually went and did the whole thing. So, yeah. Yep. Oh, C.I. Ray. Everybody loves that man, right? Like, how you doing, Ray? Yeah, wind. Yeah, so how you, you know, it's one of those things. Like everybody went underground. I just said, you know what? I refuse to live in fear. If that means I'm gonna die quickly, then fuck it. I refuse to live in fear. Sorry if that's offensive, but not sorry for what I'm doing. Yeah, you won't hear nothing about it either. I will say this, you know, they let that shit go on right under our fucking noses, and you know, gave us tidbits to go and run after. Oh, there's a family, you know, a group of 4 American individuals who are being taken to Colombia. Go run them down, bring them back to America safely. Well, what about the thousands that are going to the Florida Keys and then just disappearing there? Why these 4? Food for thought. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. Do what you got to. To this day, militia groups across the nation still do everything in their power to protect everyday American citizens they don't even know, never met, don't have any emotional attachment to, other than the fact that they are Americans. So when it comes down to, you know, calling somebody a terroristo, you might want to think about who you're calling that. Just saying. Yeah, it don't matter. His daddy's a president. This motherfucker was on live TV. He said, I don't give a shit if he smokes crack. Well, I'll tell you something. Right here and now, my daddy would have whooped my ass if I smoked crack. One, because, I'm allergic to it. But secondly, and more importantly, because he knew what that shit could do to you. My daddy would have whooped the shit out of me for that. No, but that's nothing, My daddy would have caught me with child pornography on a laptop. Let me just point something out to you. They would have never found my body. And you could take that to the fucking bank. They'd have never found my body. Fucking despicable. All the pomp and circumstance, all the fucking bread and circus. Look over here, look over here. Makes me mad. It makes me irate. It makes me want to go and fucking live in a damn fantasy world that I built for myself because this fucking bullshit. The fantasy world is more plausible than this crap. And when I says a fantasy world I built for myself, I'm talking about my book, y'all. All right. I ain't talking about like living in a delusional fantasy. I'm talking about actually, a book I wrote. So don't think of me as some crazy lunatic. I'm not that crazy. I'm not that kind of crazy. Crazy passionate. Like my daddy taught me to be. Passionate about what I do. Passionate about helping people. Loving my friends and my neighbors, myself. Trying not to hate, even when I'm hated against. Because that's the way my daddy raised me. That's the way my mom raised me. Not to hate, but to love. Funny enough, it's love that drives me to do what I do. Husky, brother, it just takes being bored. I'm going to tell you honest God truth. It just takes being bored and wanting to get the fuck out of your head and a computer to write it all down on. That's all it is. or a notepad to write it all down on, or a freaking one little college rule paper composition books or something, and a pen. You just got to be bored enough. Let me tell you something. The most excitement I've ever gotten was from actually reading the fantasy book I'm writing. That being said, there's been some exciting points in my life, but they were fleeting and quick. They weren't things that happened and kept continuing happening until now. And I wouldn't call this exciting. I'd call this fucking despicable. I'm literally, I am a simple thought process away from calling Biden the worst thing that's happened since Benedict Arnold. Fucking traitor. Ah, fuck it. Let's go inside so I don't keep on thinking on that shit. Get up. Smile. Oh. 1 foot in front of the other and move forward. And that is how you deal with bullshit. Oh. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. Yep. That's how I deal with it. Don't be mad. Be glad. Smile. Put 1 foot in front of the other. Move forward. God, I hope that chicken passes that egg. I've done everything I can for her. I literally gave her eggshells and some salt and water and food and did the whole warm on the butt for a while, a warm rag on the butt and the freaking olive oil. And I did that for all last night. I literally stayed up till 5 a.m. this morning doing that, and that chicken's probably going to die. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried. And when I says I tried, I literally gave it my all to the point where I passed out in the bathroom all curled up and woke up not being able to feel my toes. Hi, B. No. I can't put gloves on and pull it out because it's stuck up inside of her. She's not passing it. Oh. There she is. Right there. She's still with us, but you know, I've given her everything I can. I've done everything I can for her. And like I said, it's not helping. Oh wait, I don't want to do that. I want to leave that on. The light will help to keep her awake so she doesn't fall asleep and then just outright quit. Oh. I don't have it. And they don't have those at the pet store here. I'd actually have to go and take her to the vet. That's really stupid expensive when it comes down to chickens. It's the reality. You know, I bought them for meat birds. 3 of them froze to death and spoiled. One of them was henpecked. This one's got egg bind, and the other one's out in the coop. It can be, like grit, but you want to get kitty litter for that type of diatomaceous earth. You don't want to give them the fine stuff, the really fine stuff, because it doesn't do them any good. The grit from the kitty litter, though, that's still diatomaceous earth, mind you, but they use the grit to grind their food up. But there's also grit in the food that I give them, so I don't need to do that. I don't have buffs. I have one, soon to be none. One ginger broiler and one barred Americana, also known as a barred rock chicken. I give them eggshells for calcium. I give them Epsom salt for magnesium. I give them the surf and turf mix, bugs and freshwater shrimp for chitin for their feathers, and then I give them I feed them on regular pellet feed, but the high protein whole food pellet feed, because I want to give them the best nutrition I can, because the nutrition that goes into them one day goes into me. So that's the idea. And yeah, I give them plenty of calcium, plenty of magnesium, plenty of iron, plenty of chitin and keratin and gelatin and all this other good stuff. I have never given these birds antibiotics. I have gotten them vaccinated from the hatchery. I had them vaccinated for certain diseases, and those vaccines last for their entire lives. So you don't need to do it over and over and over again. And yeah, I don't give them antibiotics. I'm real scaredy leery about giving them antibiotics. It's not good to give your chickens antibiotics if you're doing yard bird. All right. If you're doing it in a huge freaking, corporate style fucking giant warehouse of chickens. Okay, I understand you got to keep them from getting sick, because if you get one sick, the whole flock is affected. But those major vaccines, those 2 major vaccines, are the important part. Everything else is just on the side. Yeah. Some birds will lay eggs in cold weather. Uh, the ginger broilers will lay eggs in cold weather. That's one of the reasons why I got them. They're medium-sized bird, as you saw, about yay big. Okay. And they'll lay 2 to 3 eggs a day when they start laying. Poor thing. I just wish I wish she would have kept on going, because there's nothing I can do now. I tried, and when I say I tried, it's you've got a certain window, and then you're doing more harm than good, because when you stress the bird out, the bird's more likely to not lay, and that's why I'll go in there to check on her, but then I'm gone. I'm leaving her be. I'm letting her be, because she needs the time alone to not stress out, so she can push that egg out if she's going to be able to do it. So, I give her water. I give her food. She hasn't touched the food very much. But I give her water, and I give her the magnesium, and I give her the eggshells, and I give her the warm rags all during that window. And now it's just a matter of prayer. Far as dosage is concerned, they will eat what they need. Okay, when it comes down to things like magnesium and calcium and chitin and keratin and protein and chicken feed and water, they will eat what they need. So, have it available for them is the big deal. And that's what I did for her. I put a little tiny pile in there. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Diatomaceous earth for humans. If you have intestinal parasites, which is the only freaking reason you should ever even contemplate it, because diatomaceous earth is extremely sharp molecularly. It's like you're swallowing glass, and it doesn't dissolve in water. You're swallowing glass. Letting you know that. A tablespoon. And that's in the most dire of circumstances, because you have to understand, molecularly speaking, diatomaceous earth is a double-ended razor blade. It's literally a diamond-shaped razor blade at a molecular level. So, not very often at all. If you're going to do that, And very little bit goes a long way. You're actually better off taking ivermectin or something like that. Be fair and honest with you. You're better off taking, a standard prophylactic antiparasitic than going and doing something like diatomaceous earth, because diatomaceous earth can leave you with ulcers and lesions on the insides of your intestines. It's not good for you. Despite what people might tell you and this BS that they spread, it is not good for you. And that's something that I learned from actually having an education. Okay. I know what the molecule itself looks like. Calcium bicarbonate and calcium polycarbonate are extremely sharp molecules. And I say sharp molecules, meaning that they can penetrate your cell walls as if you didn't have cell walls. So, I mean, that's why it's effective for getting rid of parasites in the first place. But it's really not good for you. In case you're wondering, yes, I've done it before. I shat razor blades, and it was not fun. If you want to do stomach and liver cleansing, water. Cannot say it enough. Don't forget to hydrate. Orange juice. Citric acid naturally detoxifies the body of chemicals and foreign entities such as parasites and microbacter, which are smaller than regular bacteria. The probiotic bacteria that you normally have in your body and part of your symbiotic relationship. Let me see here. What's another good one? If you are experiencing certain types of parasitic organisms, such as Giardia, capsaicin can help. Which is to say, eating peppers, hot peppers, mild peppers. All right. That helps. It can actually kill Giardia. That's when that's the stories you hear about folks that have Giardia for 3 days and they lose 25 pounds in those 3 days. It's because that's how they treated that Giardia and it got rid of it. So, all right. I'm just saying, what I know. That little tidbits of knowledge that I use every single day. I use in my day-to-day life because it's how I stay healthy. Imagine I can't do a lot of physical strenuous activities anymore. I'm tore up from the floor up, son. I got freaking a busted ankle, arthritic knees, a fucked up back, a 36-inch trauma scar on my abdomen that never healed right. A a broken, or not a broken, a hairline fracture in my C3, which is the third neck bone down from your skull, and half a jawbone. This side of my jaw is mostly titanium. Oh, and I have a titanium plate on this side. So, yeah. I'm going to show you literally. This is my detox regimen right here. That's a detox regimen. Tabasco, hot sauce. It's freaking excellent. You know, just keeping your levels of sodium, potassium, calcium, trace elements, selenium, keeping all that up. Source of selenium, in case you didn't know. Adults. Yes, selenium in beer. Selenium is actually what makes it so that your DNA is able to replicate itself without mutation. It's part of the telomeric caps of your chromosomal DNA, helps to reproduce DNA and your chromosomes so that you can end up, your body can rejuvenate itself, Selenium plays a huge part. And that's why, I when it comes down to this whole spiel of they're trying to make it so that you can't, since you don't want to, or not that you can't, but you don't want to drink beer. You don't want to have that inflow of selenium. And yes, yeast-based selenium is not for everybody. Some people can't digest it. Okay. And that's understandable. For those people, there are alternatives that are natural. You don't have to go and buy the little pills of selenium. You can actually go and eat mustard greens in a salad and get selenium from that. I actually used to do that when I was living in Blythe. I grew my own mustard in my yard. Well, in the yard that I lived at. I allowed the mustard and the prickly lettuce and dandelions to grow. Because they're only things that would grow down there. But yeah, the mustard. Calacal. I'm not quite sure I follow. Sorry. You mean alcohol? Doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic beer. It has to be brewed with some form of yeast, because all yeast produces selenium as a byproduct of their creating such things as alcohol and sugars. vitamin or like a supplement. I mean, yeah, if you're reduced to having to take supplements as your mainstay for getting that, it's going to be harder for your body to absorb it. So you're going to end up with water retaining issues. Uh, that's one of the reasons why I have a huge problem with supplements. There are so many lactol salts in the supplements, and those salts are, your body doesn't know what to do with them, so it just sticks it into a fat cell and fills it up with water, and so you retain water. That's why folks that take supplements look a little puffy. You ever notice that? I mean, let me see here. Does my Nope. Okay, so my avatar doesn't have my picture from when when I was 21, but in that picture I was actually taking nitric oxide supplements and uh, a multivitamin and a couple of other supplements at the time, doing bodybuilding, and I'm really puffy in that picture. I mean, I'm not skinny like I am now. It works, I guess. Didn't have to sacrifice 3 lambs and a cow yesterday, so yeah, okay, it works. Yeah, YouTube is going to censor this video. They're going to take it down. I'm just going to tell you now. They're going to say, "Oh, well, that's medical misinformation," except that it's not. I'm not saying anything that's not actually been proven by actual trials. Okay, that's the difference. And when I'm talking about actual trials, I'm talking about both my life experience because I was part of them, part of the medical trials. Okay. And then also the medical trials themselves as they are documented by the FDA. You want to know why the FDA does not want to put their stamp on nitrous oxide supplements? Just going to let you know the body needs nitric oxide in order to build muscle, in order to open your veins and your arteries, the vascular system. In order to dilate that, you have to have a certain amount of nitric oxide so that you can actually allow proteins to move through your bloodstream. So it's a necessary supplement. It's a necessary intake that you got to have. Your body normally makes it, but supplementing it too is sometimes necessary for certain people because you have people like me who don't build muscle very quickly or easily. So they have to take those supplements. The problem with this is that because of the salts that they use in order to contain that nitric oxide, those salts are so toxic to the human body that they cause your body to react to them as if they are poison. So some folks get really, really skinny. Some folks start to bulk up and get kind of, they retain water for a little while and then that goes away. And then some folks just get really yoked when they're on that stuff. So, yeah, like I said, I was on nitric oxide for a while because I'm a fucking skinny motherfucker. Dude, I got yoked. It took me a little while, and I went onto the supplements and then went off of the supplements. And it was after I was off of the supplements for a little while that I actually started getting my definition back. Losing the water weight and being all flubber cheeks. And I got the definition in my cheeks back, the definition in the sides of my temples, definition in my arms. So I actually had a set of shoulders again instead of hot dog rolls. Yeah, believe it or not, I had hot dog rolls when I was younger. I actually had somebody clown me like that, dude. Shut up or I'll fucking slap the hot dogs off your neck. Made me laugh so hard, dude. I'm telling you, that's some funny shit. No, man, seriously though, the salts that they use to hold nitric oxide and some of the other vitamins are toxic to the human body. In fact, the salt that they utilize to hold aspirin and every other pill, tablet style pill on the market is toxic to your body. It's called lactosol. It is a salt of lactose. Your body most folks' body can digest the lactose. They can't digest the salt portion of it, or the salt molecule of it. It just passes right through you, or it ends up in a fat cell filled with water. I didn't know when I was younger, and so I started ballooning, getting really fat from taking pills. I don't take pills anymore unless it's, absolute necessity. And then my hands they feel puffy and my face feels puffy and my whole body just gets all swollen, inflammation. And it's those salts in the pills. It's not the medicine. Because if I take one of those aspirin, I stick it under my tongue, and then I spit the tablet out when I'm done, I don't get the inflammation. Huh, go figure. I don't get the inflammation when I use willow bark either. It's the same stuff. Thereabouts. They're both salicylic acid. So, food for thought. I have a reaction to pills. I've noticed other people have these same reactions and they take pills. And folks ask me, dude, how are you so fucking skinny? I wasn't always skinny. When I was a real little kid, I was so skinny you could put your hands around my waist like that. When I grew up, I went like this. I went up and then out. And then back in. So, and it comes down to, in the time that I went outwards, I was taking a lot of pills and a lot of toxic salts. And when I say toxic salts, I'm not talking about sodium chloride. I'm not talking about potassium iodide. I am talking about lithium trichlorate. I am talking about barium phosphate. I am talking about Calcium monochloride. Believe it or don't, you can't digest calcium monochloride no matter how hard you try. It's toxic to your body. And when I say monochloride, that's 3 chlorine atoms attached in a monopole to a calcium atom. There's a difference between calcium chlorate, which is 3 chlorine atoms attached to calcium, and calcium monochloride, calcium monochloride, which is 3 atoms attached monopole to a calcium atom. So, just in case you're wondering, yes, I do know chemistry. So, I have several physical ailments, I guess you could say. I have overreactive thyroid. I have overactive, an overzealous metabolism. And so I have to eat quite a lot in order to supply my body, whereas other folks don't have to eat as much. At the same, I get more out of my food, generally speaking, than other folks get out of their food because they're also taking supplements, and those supplements inhibit them from absorbing their food. Little tidbits of shit that freaking just slap me in the face through experience. All right. I don't take supplements anymore. I don't take a multivitamin anymore. I don't take nitric oxide anymore. I don't do any of these extra special fancy shit to do's. All right. I eat macaroni and cheese nearly every night. Let that blow your mind. Nearly every single night, I eat freaking macaroni and cheese for dinner. Sometimes I'll have, I don't know, like some summer sausage meat stick, or I'll have some ground beef in there. Yeah, American foods are lacking in iodine. So one of the things that I put on my food, potassium iodide. What do you know? Something your body needs. It's the monopole you can digest. Frozen dinners taste gross because of the amount of preservatives that are in them. Things like sodium benzoate. In case you didn't know, sodium benzoate and sodium bicarbonate are 2 different fucking things. And sodium benzoate is a preservative. Sodium bicarbonate is a soda. So, yeah, a little different. Benzoate is toxic for your body. But if you read those frozen dinners, I guarantee you will see at least one of them has sodium benzoate in it. And that is a preservative. It's literally freaking embalming fluid that they put into your food. That's why I eat pasta with cheese and butter. Good stuff for you. Good stuff. I try to vary my diet with having things like tricolor rigatoni and Every now and then I'll have, apples and oranges, or, bananas, or leafy greens, or mushrooms, or something like that, on the side. But that's only if I'm feeling a hankering for something as supplementary. I need it as my body's losing that, and so I need to fill in the gaps. Otherwise, you only need calories. Earth magic? Physics? Really? Chemistry? Yeah, I do that. Physics, chemistry, and I don't do biologics. I try not to. Anyways, I try not to do like stuff like that. But yeah, Earth magic, yay! Science, real fucking science, not that bullshit they spread in the MSM. Real fucking science. Yeah, this will make Earth magic right here, man. This stuff right here will make you blow some Earth magic so far out your rear end. They'll be wondering if you're Merlin or something. Tabasco. It's the shiznit. So yeah. Any Hoosiers, I have been at this for 3.5 hours, and I got to get, because I got stuff to do. I got to go take a piss. I got to do for the chicken. I got to go and make myself food. I got to take care of my dog, and and I still got a whole nother book to write, and possibly a lot more to write. So, I just started chapter 1 of my next book. It's called Soldier of Heaven. And you can find the first chapter will be posted on Reddit shortly under the username Death B4 Dessert. I'll put it down there in the chat too. So yeah, you can find my book on Reddit. For dessert. There you go. You can find my book on Reddit underneath that username. And by the way, it is a series. It starts with the book called Sky Knight. However, the only one that I have posted up there is the inspirational for Sky Knight, which is called Militia Isn't Service. It's a nod to a friend who inspired this series by writing his own books. So if you want to, go and check him out. Here on YouTube, he's known as Celtic Mutt. On Reddit, he is known as Blue Fish Cake. Please go check out his books. He's got several. And they're really good books. But the one that this series was actually inspired by is called Between Two Worlds. That's Sexy Space Babes on Reddit. Okay. So yeah, after the first book, I started posting the books in their actual format. No, it's not going to link because that's just that's just my name on Reddit. Here, let me see here. Reddit dot u slash death before dessert. There you go. That should do it. That should link it. If it doesn't, then I'll run over and just snap up the link. Let's see if it will here. It won't let me. Okay, it won't let me link, so then I'll just snap it up and bring it over. Give me a second. Huh. George. Oh wait. Where's shit? Okay, reddit.com before dessert. That's it. Copy. Make paste more. This should do it. So yeah, that's my book series on Reddit. So what are you seeing? Oh yeah, the secession of the 30% of Oregon. We're talking the state of Jefferson. They've been talking about that and talking about that and talking about that. However, it would be illegal for them to do that because they would be creating a state or country within the confines of another state within the confines of the United States, and that is illegal. That's actually got there's code against it. In an effort to actually stop American expansionism. So, and balkanization, by the way. So that's actually why they can't. They'll talk about it a lot, but they actually can't do it. Texas and California are the only two states within the United States that can legally secede from the Union because of the time and basis to when they were created and how they were created as a state. They were countries before they were states. The others were territories. So, in case you're wondering as to why California may secede and Texas may secede if they choose to, that's why. Oregon can't. Oregon was already part of the United States when that law dropped. So they're just talking in circles. It's a matter of Oregon doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just, they're talking about it. If they looked at it, if the representatives of Oregon actually looked at it, they'd say, wait a minute. We can't actually do this. I mean, it's a great fantasy and all, but we can't actually do this. So instead, what we can do is we can build up our communities and we can regulate our communities in that method and manner, and our sheriffs can regulate our communities in that method and manner. And that's the closest we can come to that. Okay. That's good to hear, Husky. I'm glad it worked. Well, I hope it worked. I mean, it's just it's a fantasy book, but you know, it's pretty fucking good. No, it's the Free State of Jefferson. But yeah, same diff, right? um, but yeah, that's in all honesty, if we were to look at it as instead of just the representatives, but the actual people of Oregon, the only place only two places really in Oregon that would be affected by the blue tyranny would be Portland and Salem. Just gonna put that out there. Most of the folks here in Oregon are actually gun toting, gun loving Americans and are fucking sick and tired of this shit. But you know, for some reason, cities get a higher percentage of view time. They get a higher percentage of exposure because more people travel to the cities than travel to the country. Food for thought. But yeah, like I said, like I was saying, uh, the most that we podunk motherfuckers can do is bolster the local governments, you know, the regional areas to rebuff the state overreach of individual rights. That's the best we can do. And beyond that, walk with fucking confidence, speak softly, and carry a goddamn big stick. So, any Hoosiers, y'all go and check out Awesome Alice, a good friend, patriot friend of mine. And I will catch you on the flip side, motherfuckers, because I am out. I will.